I think that it would have been seemingly easy for me to walk away from my mom, maybe having a strange relationship with her at this point in my life because it was hard. I just know God has more for my mom. Like wholeheartedly, I know that and I believe that. My name's Bree Wells. I am 26 years old and married to Josh. I grew up in a seemingly beautiful suburban area, beautiful home, and just was like a good life. My parents don't know the Lord. I didn't grow up in the faith at this point in my life. I had no idea who God was. A big part of my story is when I was 11, my sister passed away on her due date. They had messed up the epidural during surgery. My mom ended up getting permanent nerve damage, and so she had gone on liquid morphine like right after losing my sister Bella. That moment really shifted things for us. My mom chose opioids to just move forward in that way with her grief, and then my dad had chose alcohol. And from that point on, from like 11 until 14 years old, there was a lot of chaos in my home, and I dealt with a lot of numbness and frustration and anger at that age. I had no hope. I wasn't experiencing the love from my parents that God intended for, and it was a really, honestly, brutal chapter. And during this time, I had met a lady that worked at my high school, and she knew the Lord. And so right after I graduated, she took me to dinner, and she was like, I know that you don't know who the Father is, but He loves you, and this will change your life. And I remember just kind of looking at her and just being like, God isn't real. Like everything that I've gone through, there's no way that like a father's love like that exists. She invited me with a friend, and she said, you should go to this young adults group. And so I went, and I remember at that time, I think I like had held my emotions so deeply. I hadn't cried in like 4 years. And like as soon as worship started, I was so overcome with emotion. And I just remember feeling like this overwhelming comfort and love that I'd never experienced ever in my life. And so it was this whole just crazy turnaround where the Lord was like, Bree, you know who I am, and you are to show your family and your parents specifically who I am and the love that I exert to you. And it was really hard. And I just remember falling on my knees and being like, Lord, like, why do they deserve this kind of love? And He was just like, I have given you that love. You are going to give it to them. And they deserve it because you deserve it. I had known like so wholeheartedly in that moment, like the Lord had forgiven me for things that I had done, and that His love was so washed over me, and that He was calling me to give that to the people in my life that didn't know who He was. I remember my mom saying like, I don't expect you to ever forgive me. And I said, oh Mom, I forgave you a long time ago. And I remember she just started bawling even more, and she was like, how could you forgive me for the things that I've done? And I was like, because I know how powerful that is, and I know that this is the love that Christ has for you, and I know that He wants that to be shown through me. I can love them in that way because I know that love myself.